Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So Elise, Parker, and Omna, I'm not seeing yet. If any of them are on, give a shout just to make sure I'm not missing them in the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have quorum, but I'll give everybody a minute or two just in case they're in the middle of connecting.
To the chair, you are live on HCAM.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got 3 more people. We'll just give them another minute to see if they are in the process of connecting, and then we'll get started with the remote meeting script. All right. Neri, anybody else in the waiting room or?
No, not yet.
Nope. Okay. Well, I'll get started with the script. If anybody joins later, we'll add them to the roll. So pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, this meeting will be conducted via remote means in accordance with applicable law. This means that members of the public body, as well as members of the public, may access this meeting via virtual means. Participants may access this meeting through the remote meeting link as posted on the meeting agenda and through the town's online calendar. When required by law or allowed by the chair, persons wishing to provide public comment or otherwise participate in the meeting may do so by raising their hands or otherwise signaling their intents to speak and by being recognized by the chair. This meeting will be recorded. Please take care to mute your microphone unless you have been recognized by the chair. We will now confirm attendance of members. Please respond with present if you are on this call. Members of the planning board, Rob Benson, I believe, is not here. Elise Mielowski. Lucia Lopez.
Present.
Michael King.
Present.
Parker Happ. Also not on yet. Vikasith Prati.
Present.
Amna Dewan. Also didn't see her. Peter Memo.
Present.
And Matthew Vronka, myself. Staff, Aneri Patel.
Present.
Laurie St. John.
Present.
And is John on? John Gelsich on today, or is he not on this meeting?
No, he's not on this meeting.
Excellent. All right. Moving on to our administrative items. Minutes of October 20th, 2025, as amended in the folder. I believe there were 2 copies. The PDF looked like it had a more recent timestamp. Lori, do you want to share the document and the changes that were made?
Yep. Do I have share rights? Sharing is not turned on. Send request.
You are all set, Laurie, now.
Anyway, did they pop up on the screen?
Yes.
Yep, they're
Okay.
there.
Yep.
So all the changes that were made went to red now, and it says change to. Anything bold was what was written. Now it's gone to red. Matthew and Lucia made 2 individual emails to me in regards to changes. So This one right here, at the very beginning, underneath Nebraska Street, it went from Mr. Have stated to Mr. Have stated he does not see any. So the red is the new change. And then directly underneath that, the red is the new change, alleviating all the black bold. On the next page, again, everything in red was changed. Anything in bold was originally written. And then I had a bunch of bullets, and Matthew said we can just strike all that. So all that red would be deleted from the minutes. And then this bold here in red, this will be completely removed per Matthew's request. Next paragraph, black will be rewritten over to red to the change 2. Same thing with this here about the Verizon store. The water was coming down towards the road from the Verizon store. That's a correction. And then this little one here, Mr. Gouch had stated that they still would need. And that would be it for the corrections of the red bold.
Before I open up to the board for any other changes, if I mistyped could at the very first change,
I did see that. Yep, I got that,
Okay.
Matthew.
We could fix that. And also, it looks like there was some had not. Looks like it's like right below that. Looks like it's something weird happened. Stated he had not had third paragraph from the bottom of that page.
He had
Mr.
not.
Vincent asked, the paragraph beginning with the word "not," full stop, third paragraph from the bottom. Looks like something.
Yeah, it's when I go from Word to Google Docs, things just go crazy. So
Okay.
had
All right, thank you. Any other changes or comments on the proposed changes by anybody on the board?
Through the chair, just want to
Yeah, Parker.
note that I'm on the call now. They had a couple
you.
technical difficulties.
I also saw Elise joined also.
And me, it's Omna.
Oh, and I'm there. All
okay.
right, so we've got everybody we're expecting. Excellent. All right. Any other proposed changes or any comments on the proposed changes? Try and look at the list to see if anybody has a hand raised, but members of the board, feel free to shout if I'm not seeing you right now. Okay, seeing no further comments or proposed edits, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of October 20th, 2025 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so Michael and Lucia, thank you. Roll call vote. Elise,
Yes.
Lucia,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Vic,
Yes.
Amna,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and myself is yes. All right, moving on to bond reduction request, Wayland Chamberlain subdivision. Aneri, do you want to give a quick intro to this?
Sure. So Toll Brothers submitted a request, bond reduction request for amount of $43,700 from originally from $289.32. We sent that request to our peer review Bay Associate. They reviewed it and revised and did some remaining changes. In the share folder, you can see the recommendation submitted by Bay's Associate, and Toll Brothers are okay with the changes. And the new bond amount is now $89,160 after Toll Brothers agreement with the changes recommended by Base.
Thank you. I saw a letter from the DPW director about a punch list. How does that fit into the discussion tonight?
So just half an hour ago, I received reply back from Luckner, and he mentioned he already included those two items in the updated bond reduction request. So we are all set. So he mentioned that he included the provision of pipe insulation and as-built and street exception plans at the moment. So just
Okay, so from point of view of the town, it looks like this is in good shape.
yes.
Okay. Any comments or questions from anybody on the board? Okay. There isn't a suggested motion. I presume that the motion that would be entertained would be moved to accept the new bond amount of $89,160 for the Wayland Chamberlain subdivision, reducing from $289,032.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I've got a motion. Anybody second?
Second.
Thank you. Assuming no comments on the motion, I'll go to roll call vote. Elise,
Yes.
Lucia,
Yes.
Michael,
Yep.
Parker,
Yes.
Vic,
Yes.
Amna,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I am a yes.
Through the chair,
Is that Amna?
Laurie.
Lori, yes.
Who made the motion?
Michael made the motion. Lucia had the second.
Second. Okay, thank you.
Chair, just to add one point, that also Toll Brothers requested a street exception for Chamberlain subdivision road. I requested the plans and drawings to start the process. Once I received, you all going to receive email from me regarding that process.
Okay.
But just
And that'll have to go through town meeting eventually,
yes,
and we'll have to give our opinion on that if
Yep.
I understand it right.
yep, that's correct.
Nothing else at this point on that process, though, right?
No,
Okay. Thank you. All right. Item 1.3, bond reduction request, Elmwood Farms, Newbury Glen. Aneri, do you want to give any context to this one?
sure. The original amount was somewhere around $1 million, and applicant requested to $212.95 for Elmwood Farms, and Pear Corporation reviewed the bond reduction request, and they stated they are in aligned and they are okay to issue the request. So they don't have any additional comments on bond reduction for this one.
All right. So position of the town is that this seems reasonable. Any comments or questions from the board? And Aneri, given that there was agreement on the original recommendation, I assume there's no real discussion from Toll Brothers on this.
No, because peer review, our consultant is okay with their request and looks good.
Okay. In that case, I would entertain, seeing no comments from the board, I would entertain a motion to reduce or to set the new bond for Elmwood Farms, Newbury Glen to $212,925, reducing it from $1,021,965.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by Michael King, second by Lucia Lopez. Roll call vote. Elise,
Yes.
Lucia,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Vic,
Yes.
Amna,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and myself is yes. All right, last administrative item, Form K lot release endorsement, Deanna Farms. I assume this is a direct follow-up to changing the bond amount last week, and this already has been posted. Aneri, any other context you want to provide on this?
No, the applicant already provided the check for the amount and he's all set, so board can release the lot.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion that the planning board endorse the Form K lot for the release of 8 Nebraska Street.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion by Michael and a second by Vic. Go to roll call vote. Elise,
Yes.
Lucia,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Vic,
Yes.
Amna,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I am a yes. All right, and that brings us to the first public hearing. I believe, Aneri, this was requested a continuance.
Yes, that is correct. Me and John had a meeting with applicant this afternoon, they had a couple of questions regarding how they can process. After our discussion, they requested continuance to the next hearing. They're going to provide us with updated plan of existing and what they finally decide to do with the cover letter. And in the next November 17 hearing, board going to review that under administrative item, and then board can determine how they want to process. Do they want to go through as a minor based upon their revised plans, or it's just a straight restripping plan?
All right. So is this going to be, is the next meeting, this is going to be a public hearing, continuing the current, or this is going to be continuing the public hearing, or going to have an administrative item to review their proposal?
It's going to be administrative item to review their proposal. And after that, the following hearing, it's going to be the public hearing. If the applicant decide to withdraw after next hearing, then
Okay, so we'll have it twice on the next agenda as two different things.
Yeah.
Okay. Believe the decision deadline is before the 11/17th. Do we know when we need to extend that to?
So it is going to be, just a second.
And the 27th is Thanksgiving, if we want to keep that in mind.
So if board decide on November 17th, then deadline going to be on November 27, which is again Thanksgiving. So the hearing. Just a second. December 11.
December 11th is when we want to move the decision to?
Yes.
Okay. All right. In that case, I would entertain a motion from the board to continue the public hearing for 8589 West Main Street, minor project site plan, Alicia Illa and Samara Vern Solon 1993 Trust, to the 11/17th meeting and extend the decision deadline to December 11th.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Oh, I missed who got the second there. Vic, were you first? Did you say that? Amna got. I can tell if Amna got the first one in or not. All right, I'll take Amna as a given Zoom conflict. All right, roll call vote. Elise,
Yes.
Lucia,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Parker,
No.
Vic,
Yes.
Amna. Did I say Amna already? Amna,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and myself is yes. So that was 7-1. If my count was right?
Yep.
Okay. And that brings us to the last item of the night. Sorry, let me move ahead. We have a new public hearing. So I would entertain a motion to open the new public hearing for 66 Fruit Street portion, Pine Field Athletic Facility, major project site plan and stormwater management permit, Hopkinton Park and Recreation.
So moved.
Motion by Michael. Do you have a second?
Second.
Parker with a second. Thank you. And we'll move to roll call vote. Elise,
Yes.
Lucia,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Parker. Parker?
Yes. Sorry, I was muted.
Vikasith,
Yes.
Amna,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and myself is yes. All right. Anir, do you want to give a quick, actually, yeah, it probably makes sense. We have the applicant on to give initial discussion, then we'll go to Anir after that.
Yes, we have applicant here to present.
Okay. And is that John over there? Yep. Do you want to give a brief overview?
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. John Lourdes, Director of Parks and Recreation. So this project is an applicant on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Department and the Parks and Rec Commission. And the overall project, this is a sort of redesign and building of the current existing field at Pine, which is a baseball field that we are looking to convert to a full-time cricket and baseball Little League field. In addition to that, we are looking to build a parking lot on the other side of the road. A few notes here to discuss. This is a CPC funded project that was awarded in the 2023 town meeting. My tenure started in September of 2023, so a little bit after, and the project really stalled for a little bit, but started to pick up steam in May of 2024. This is a dawn to dusk park with no lights associated, either in the parking lot or at the field. And we are requesting a waiver for the electric vehicle parking, as we are not installing any electric for the field except for a minor connection for irrigation and also the well and pump that we are looking to install. This is a natural grass field, no synthetic turf. And with me is Gale Associates as well, who are the design firm and engineering firm that has been hired to manage this project. So again, thank you for your time and happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Aneri, do you have town report on the project so far? You muted.
Okay, so we received a few comments from the department, and it's mentioned in the memo. So from my side, I will mention that the use is compliance with the zoning bylaw in agriculture zoning district and the waiver request submitted by applicant. Planning board should consider that. And additionally, regarding the parking and the traffic, applicant is providing 95 space, including 4 ADA compliant, which is like exceeding minimum parking requirements. So that's a good sign based upon the site plan rules and regulation. From DPW, I will just summarize what we received from their side. So their main concern is like they don't recommend Primble payment in the municipal parking lot. And because town don't have enough equipment to support that, to clean the pavement. From health perspective, they just have one main questions that if we're gonna put the portable toilets on the site for athletes. And if yes, then where they're gonna store, and they need a plan for that service. Conservation, they don't have any comments. Their project is outside their jurisdiction. And building inspector / inspectional service officer, they have few comments regarding the fencing and the drawings provided and regarding the cricket pitch. And he's saying that EV chargers is important for this project. So he recommend board to consider that in summary.
Okay. And we don't have a peer review yet, right?
No,
looks like this is peer.
we did not receive, we are going and moving forward with Pear Corporation for this project, and we're going to receive a response back from them next week or the following, before the next public hearing.
Okay. It would probably be helpful to put the site plan up so we know what the orientation is. Do you have that in area, or
Yeah.
maybe Parks and Recs wants to do that?
I can try to share my screen.
Okay. While Neri is doing that, are there any comments or questions from the board so far?
Through the chair,
Yeah, Parker?
I would just say being in CPC and seeing this project, come to fruition. I know a lot of people are very excited about it, but one key thing to note is this thing is over budget, and anything we can do to help avoid any additional cost overruns would be incredibly helpful. Just my 10 cents.
Lucia?
I had a question regarding the address, because
The hearing is for 66 Fruit Street and the application was for 2430 Fruit Street. So I don't know if there was some discrepancy there.
So,
Neri, do you want to?
so,
Address
yeah, so Kobe pointed out that on the application it says 2430, but eventually we have 66 Fruit Street as a address in all our systems. So we can move with 66 and applicant, like on application, we can change that.
Oh.
I'm trying to put.
Vic?
Yeah. Actually, I want to look at the map
Site plan.
exactly.
Somehow, unfortunately, I'm not able to share my screen. John, do you have the plan, or Laurie can share it?
Yeah, I think I have the plan as well, John, if you need me to pull it up.
Yeah, so Colleen is our representative from Gale, project manager.
Well, Colleen, do you want to walk us through the site plan?
Yes, please.
And then we'll come back to you, Vic.
Sure.
All right, can everyone see this?
Yes. Thank you.
So this that's pulled up is just the existing conditions plan. So as you can see, there's the existing baseball field, the current gravel parking lot, and then just this wooded area over to the right of my screen that's also town land. So jumping to the layout plan, so we're reorienting the baseball field and then we can fit this cricket pitch. We're putting in some fencing along both streets along with guardrails as protection. And then as John mentioned, there's the ADA parking lot down where my cursor is, along with the new parking lot that's going to be on the parcel across the access road here. We'll be paving this, as right now it's more of a gravel access drive with a vehicle gate to get back to this town land. Currently, we're going to have a walkway alongside that access drive, along with an alternate to have some stairs cut through the woods there, and then a crosswalk with some signage to cross the end of the street here, and stairs going back up to the fields with some perimeter walkways. So that's generally what the project consists of. Like John said, it's an existing baseball field. We're not expecting much of an increase in foot traffic here. Just hoping to make this an overall better facility for the community.
Okay, where's Fruit Street here? That's right along.
It's right on the left of the page.
Okay. And the easement that I'm sure we'll be talking about in a little bit is located right through there. Okay.
Correct. So we've added the guardrail and some chain link fencing as additional protection along this road, along with doing the same thing at Fruit Street, since that is a busy road as well.
Okay. Anything else that you want to share right now, or I'll go back to Vic for his question?
Yeah, just any questions?
Right. Vic, do you want to come back to your question?
So, I mean, I might have missed it. What's the total size of this cricket field?
So it's a 330-foot diameter cricket playing area. It's on the smaller side of the dimensions you typically have for cricket, but there is quite a range in what is recommended for a cricket pitch.
No, yeah, no, that's good. I mean, I know the game, I know the field, so I'm just trying to understand because, is there any housing surrounding areas? Because when people hit, right, just like the golf might minor one, but these make real good damages with the ball. So I'm just making sure that, any of this properties in and around how safe they are. So is there a satellite view just for easier? But you said 330 feet, right?
Like
yep.
Just the overall aerial.
Yes.
So the baseball field's just going to be mirrored with the cricket pitch where this existing gravel lot is. And then the neighbors are closest down here, but we will have a fence that's going along to the accessible parking area.
I didn't see the screen change if you shared.
Yeah.
Something else.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Here it is.
And to the chair, I also echo what Parker said. It's way over the budget, but we want to make sure that this is still keeping the residents happy. So what can be done? So, okay, thank you. So the nearest residence is on this Marvick outpost, right? That's what I see. on the Maverick Outpost.
All right. So is the baseball field flipping around? The cricket's going where the parking lot currently is, and the field over there is going to be the parking lot.
This
yeah, right there,
kind of
yeah.
bare area over to the east.
Okay. Other comments or questions from the board?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. In which case, I'll open up to public comments. I saw Mr. Bingham earlier, I believe it is.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Yep. If you'd like to make a statement.
I would. So first of all, I submitted a letter today with a few exhibits. I apologize for the timing of it, so I'm not certain you've had an opportunity to look at it, but I hope in advance of the next meeting you will have. But I'll do my best just to summarize really what we wrote in the letter because it's pretty important and it speaks to some of what we've heard just now. So I'm here, I represent Amy Peterson, who's the trustee of R&R Realty Trust. They own the property at 36 Fruit Street. I also represent JB Sawmill and Land Clearing. JB, you probably all know this, operate a sawmill and land clearing business on that property. The reason they're able to run that business is because in 2009, they obtained an easement from the town of Hopkinton that allowed them access over the driveway that we're talking. What's being mentioned as a road is really a driveway that leads up to the sawmill operation. There's two real big picture reasons why we have objections and oppositions to the plan as it is filed. The first is that this site plan is attempting to squeeze much too much into a very small space by doing it in a manner that I'm going to discuss a little bit later. I'm not going to take too long, but this plan as designed is also interfering with our easement rights, our legal easement rights, in a manner that, quite frankly, this operation cannot operate under and will have to deal with. We're hoping that you will help us deal with it today. And last but not least, the design as set up, in addition to impacting the business, is also unsafe. It's taking a situation that is quite frankly currently safe, a parking and baseball field arrangement that has never caused a problem over all of the years that my client has owned this property, and shifting things around such that we'll soon have a parking lot that is very distant from the field and will require absolutely everyone, if they actually use the parking lot, to cross over our easement. Our easement is used for a commercial business. That commercial business utilizes very large trucks. And the way I see it, if you can avoid having large commercial vehicles come into contact with the residents of Hopkinton, including children who will be running across this easement on a regular basis, you should do it. Exploring every option before doing this is the very least that Parks and Recreation owes the town of Hopkinton, and I'm going to suggest to you that they haven't done it. But before going into the details of that reason, there's another, and it's related. So the second reason that my client opposes the application is because, despite their awareness of complaints by my client of the misuse, abuse, and interference, very important word because it's a legal term, we have certain right. We have the right to utilize this easement and this roadway without being interfered with. Despite efforts by my clients to try to be good neighbors, and I think they've been too good, to be honest, because we've come as far as we have without getting some sort of result from someone other than Parks and Recreation. But nonetheless, they were hopeful that they would be able to manage something in a very friendly way, but it has not worked. And you know, we participated in meetings in Parks and Recreation. We were hopeful that we would get substantive information from them about why they thought that this worked and why other alternatives weren't going to work. But ultimately, we didn't get that. What we got was the filing of this particular application. So just to summarize it, it's in my letter, and I hope you'll have time to read it. But presently, the cricket field, there is a cricket field, and they are playing cricket, and that's occurring on what I call in the letter and what I understand to be the lower field. And when I refer to the upper field, I'm really just talking about where the existing baseball field is and where the adjacent parking lot is for that baseball field. But we've got nothing against cricket. I think cricket is a great sport, and I think any opportunity for human beings to get outside and to do things other than sit on a couch is a very, very good thing. However, it has to be safe. But here, it's just not safe. So it was mentioned previously that this is a dawn to dusk field, and the cricket the cricket leagues, teams, and practices that have been going on there have been taking full advantage of that, and they are there on various days, including this is not just a weekend situation. They're there very, very often, which is great, except despite the fact that there is a place for those players, those participants and spectators to park that would actually be safe, they have not done it. And where is that parking spot that currently exists that they could utilize? It happens to be exactly where the site plan contemplates a parking spot for what's going to be double the number of fields up on the upper portion of the lot. It's very clear to me that despite complaints by my client and efforts to get the cricket leagues to act in a certain way, they've refused. And what have they been doing? They have been parking on the driveway on both sides. This is not a street that we can park on both sides and have vehicles pass in the middle. It just can't be done. One thing I did not send to you, but I'm going to have it to you before the next meeting, is a video that speaks volumes about what's presently going on there right now. And it's a video from one of the trucks coming down the easement. And I think it's worth the board, even if you've been there before, to go back out to this site. I'd like to attend with you and really look at what's going on, because what the video shows is a truck coming from our operation, and it's a downhill slope. Big trucks, downhill slope. And as the truck is coming down, what do we see on the downhill slope? We see a car parked on the right-hand side. Very, very dangerous. Doesn't look like much until that same truck makes a left-hand turn. And when that truck makes a left-hand turn, it is shocking what we see on that video, and that shock is a regular occurrence for my clients, and that is cars parked on both sides. One car parked perpendicularly across the easement, while people are also gathering in the street. This is not the end of the game. This is just where they decide that they wanted to watch the game and talk to each other. And all of that is fine, except for where they're doing it. And ultimately, this truck makes it through this labyrinth. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. It does. But someday it's not going to, and it's going to bump, and a car is going to be hit, a kid is going to come running out, and nothing has been done about it. So when we look at that situation, and we think about this new plan, we cannot disconnect those two thoughts, because we have tried and tried and tried, and I believe, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not involved in these communications, I believe that Parks and Recreation has spoken to the cricket leagues, has spoken to the individuals running it, and has attempted to do what we've asked them to do over the course of the last year. I don't speak for him. He can speak for himself. But at the end of the day, it has done no good. He's been ignored. My clients have been ignored. And one thing I do want to point out with respect to the parking, maybe they didn't comprehend that you weren't allowed to park along the easement. Well, at our own expense, my client made it very, very clear to them that that was the case by putting up no parking signs. Spent a lot of money on no parking signs because those no parking signs disappear, get uprooted, thrown to the side, ignored. Who's ever utilizing this current field knows that they're not supposed to be there, and they just don't care. Even though they could park right where this current park designed for the site, under the site plan for the parking is located. Why would we ever believe that if we add hundreds and hundreds of feet to the walk that they have to make to their field, increase the elevation that they have to walk to get to their field, that suddenly they're going to use this new parking spot that gets built at great expense? And if you're looking for a reduction in the price of this project, you don't build the parking lot because they're not going to use it. And then in addition to that, what does every single person now have to do? They have to cross a commercial easement at the most dangerous spot along the easement. And why is it the most dangerous spot? It is on a downhill grade. The trucks have to come to a stop. The trucks then have to make a left to get out. The site, I looked through this for an understanding of this, whether or not there were safe sight lines to Pine Street, to anywhere in either direction, and there weren't. And now which way do the trucks have to look? Not just left, they have to look left and right. And they better look right, left and right, because now not only are vehicles potentially going to be crossing, every single person who's going to be utilizing that field is going to be crossing the easement at that point. It just absolutely makes no sense to me. So there's more in the letter. I'd ask you to take a look at it, including a nice email exchange from my client and Parks and Recreation, where some of these issues are summarized in a very, very effective way, maybe more effective than I'm able to do it. So I do appreciate that.
All right.
So
thank you. I know that. Sorry, do you have a last comment?
I have more than a last comment, but I understand if you tire of listening to me this evening, and as long as I know that we're going to continue on to another day, I'm happy to come back and finish whenever it is that whenever you see fit. But here's the thing. I haven't spoken about the reasons why the site plan has problems, and it does. All I've spoken to is existing problems that I know are going to continue and were not addressed. They weren't even addressed they know we're here, they know we're talking about this, but neither the engineer nor Parks and Rec really took on what they know is an issue that has to be dealt with. Maybe they want to do that in rebuttal. I leave that to others to decide how they want to do that. But I heard the words, there are going to be no increase in foot traffic as a result of this. I am shocked. I was shocked by that statement. No increase in foot traffic. I'm not going to say it again. Every single person who parks in that parking lot is now, by foot, going to have to cross over our easement at the most dangerous spot. So, but I'm going to just quickly touch on, and I hope you give me another opportunity next week, and I'm going to go quickly on this, but here it is. The first problem with the design of this cricket field, it is just too close to our easement. I don't think I could fit my sneaker between the fence that they have in mind and where the easement begins. So what does that mean? I know we have a nice plan, a nice design for how people are supposed to go from point A to point B. But I assure you, point C is going to come into play. People will be walking up the easement, and why not? Because you can view the cricket game from a very, very nice location. Only, I think this is 330, so you'll be 150, 180 feet away at the most, where you'll be able to lean on a fence with your feet on our easement while you're watching the game. Why not? It's the shortest distance to get there. It's just too close. And, you know, our trucks, my client maintains the trucks. They're safe, but things happen. Okay, when trucks of a multi-ton come down with equipment on the back, you don't want to have little kids standing there watching a game with their backs to the trucks to find that something goes wrong with the truck. It's just too dangerous. And I really don't think that they've taken it into account. Part two is my second thing is the parking lot. I already touched on it enough. It is too far away, and you should have no expectation that 100% of the people are going to use that parking lot. They're not. What they're going to do is park in the easement exactly where they are. But I fear they're going to do even worse than that, because there is a nice little turnaround spot which will be used, even though that's not what it's for. It's for handicap parking. But I can now imagine cars going up there, dropping off people, adding to the number of vehicles that are actually on the most dangerous portion of this thing, and then maybe even parking on the slope. We have photos of people doing it. They do it now. So to think they're not going to do it when they have to go up that hill to the game, it just makes no sense. And the walking path, I'll say nothing more about that. But you know, where you have the outline of our objections to this entire thing, and we're not here to be that neighbor, because these people are not that neighbor. They're good neighbors, but they have been ignored, and being ignored is over. I am now representing them, and it is now my mission to make sure that whatever easement rights they have, that they are respected from now on. Amen. And they are going to be. And I like doing business on the applicant side in the town of Hopkinton, but I don't care, because I am here to represent this client, and this client needs some assistance. And if that means that we have to take some legal action outside of this, we will do it. But please don't make us do it. What I think you really should do is you should make this applicant go back and really think twice about whether or not what we've been suggesting to them for a very long time occur. What we've suggested, and I saw a beautiful overhead of the space out there, which really tells the story. And it is, if there's enough room for a pitch field on the upper part, there is enough room for a pitch field over on somehow, some way over where they're going to put that parking. And the nice thing is, it's also probably possible, but I don't think it's been looked at well enough, to have parking right near the field, so that no one has to be walking. Everyone is safe. Children are not crossing the easement. So that's what I'm gonna ask that the board do. That's what I'm gonna ask that Park and Recreations consider between now and the next meeting. We've got to do something that's safe. We've got to do something that doesn't interfere with people's rights. And neither of those two things have been accomplished.
So, Mr. Bingham, to a couple of your statements, we'll almost certainly continue this to a later meeting and likely have a site walk in between. And obviously, you and anybody else in the public would be welcome to join us on that.
Thank you.
One question to something you just brought up at the end is and I think is in your attachments for anybody that didn't see it, because I think it was uploaded this afternoon.
Yeah, apologies.
Yeah, there's a folder with some photos, the easement, some other information in the letter. If the site plan, if the applicant were to swap the parking lot with the cricket field, do you think that solves your complaint? Wouldn't that still?
Yeah, I think it does. Here's why. Because right now we have a baseball field with a dedicated parking area up top. Okay, when no one's walking up that hill, it's just cars are going up and they're parking to go see a baseball game, and they're off of the easement. And we haven't had any major conflicts with that arrangement for what I think. We haven't owned the place the whole time, but we're talking about 40 years it has worked, and it would continue to work. So what I see is, you know, if this board were to allow the expenditure of funds to build a baseball field up there, leave the parking the way that it is. It doesn't have to change. You don't have to spend that money that is not allocated to this project anyway, as we sit here today, and just let it be. And then look very closely at what it would take to put that other field down there. Right now, this one is 330. So there is a range of fields. So if it had to be less than 330, it could be less than 330, and I think it would still be satisfactory to the leagues. But I think 330 works. I only did my own very unprofessional measurements here, but it all seemed to fit with the idea of putting having parking around and very close and very safe, and no one, zero people will ever have to walk up that easement, cross that easement, or put the lives of children and adults in danger just to go see a baseball game or a cricket game.
Any comment from Park and Recs on any of the previous conversations or Mr. Bingham's commentary?
Yes, many. I'm sorry that your clients feel ignored. Since I started here in 2024, they've been a part of every single Park and Rec Commission meeting where the Pine Field has been on the agenda. The chair of the commission, Dan Terry, has invited them to speak during the public comment section of every time. The ultimate design of where we ended on was actually per the recommendation of the sawmill that they thought the crosswalk should be where it is currently situated based on those sight lines. The original design actually had the crosswalk up higher across the easement, which would actually lessen the walking from the parking lot. But they said since the sight line of the trucks going downhill is much better than going uphill, they actually recommended. So we did a redesign to the project to accommodate those requests. In addition, we looked at other locations for the parking lot. We call it the wooded area, which was south of the project. And then we had a list of abutters who came to those meetings as well to express their concerns. And ultimately, the commission, myself, and Gale Associates, took everyone's feedback and took everyone's input multiple times. And we ultimately landed on the original parking lot location, but a different crosswalk location. So in terms of the design, I do have experience in other towns with athletic fields, courts, gyms. This is a walk, but it's a walk that can happen. There is ADA accessible spots. So, we did appease those. The other thing about the parking situation as it currently is and our department ignoring that. I think in the letter that you actually attached, Neil, you can see my response to that. The immediate action that I've taken, I myself have been to the fields on Tuesday nights. I have been there on Saturdays to help with that situation. I have spoken with cricket players on the fields. I put cones out myself. I had DPW assistants install the new no parking signs on the right side. And I guess the big thing is this project sort of mitigates those concerns. By having a dedicated parking lot, there will be no longer parking on the easement or the access way, which they currently are. Now, is it going to be a learning curve for the cricket community and the baseball community to, adhere to these rules and not park on this driveway? Yes. But we ultimately issue the permits to them. And if they're not adhering to the parking rules and regulations, then we can revoke that permit and they would not be able to use those fields. And again, I just want to stress that, I've made this a very public project. There's a public drive that has costs associated with it. We have 4 different design plans. And again, I stated that this was a 2023 town meeting approved funding project. We are now approaching 2026, and there is a large cricket community and a large baseball community that really would like this field. Not only will this field help the cricket and baseball community, but it'll help the lacrosse community, the soccer community, everyone else who uses outdoor space. How do you say? Because it alleviates all the pressure we have on our other fields, specifically at Fruit Street. If we're able to move some of the groups from Fruit Street over to this field, that opens up other activities, or a space for other activities. Parks and Recreation does not have many dedicated fields that Parks and Recreation manages. Fruit Street is our biggest one, and then we have these two fields. Everything else we have to rent from the school department. And again, I want to stress that we rent from the school department. We are not a big budget department, hence why we go to CPC for projects like this. I will continue to work with Josh and Amy on this and mitigate these situations as they are today. So I guess that he spoke a lot, and I tried to capture as many as I could.
Just two quick things.
Mr. Bingham, yep.
In my prior comments, I think I said something along the lines of, I believe that John has made efforts to try to get these problems under control. I had no doubt. In fact, I would have said 100%, and I trust 100% what he just said about his efforts. What I will say is they haven't worked, and maybe they work when he's out there, and maybe they work when he's the one putting the cones in. They don't work, and there's plenty of evidence to that point. But I got to say one more thing, and this is my last word. I was at one of the Parks and Recreation meetings, and the issue that was just raised was raised there, and that is that my clients somehow agreed to this arrangement and were happy with this arrangement. Absolutely untrue. What really happened is, when they were left with options that did not include a safe one, they were asked what could make it better. Well, they may have made those kinds of suggestions, and I even had those conversations at the meeting. It's not the same thing. It didn't make this safe, and that's what they were speaking to. They weren't speaking to some sort of agreement on this. They never agreed to it. They've never felt it safe. And whether, no matter who did, it's not.
I don't want to get into a back and forth, but if
I understand.
Just one more substantive thing.
I'll give you the last word.
In this process as well, I've involved John Gelsich, Elaine, Town Council, Selectmen. So this has not just been Parks and Recreation and Gale Associates. While I present publicly to the commission, there's many meetings that happen behind the scenes. We take feedback, but that does not mean we have to use that feedback in these plans. So this has been a very involved process. Since I was new to the town, I wanted to make sure things were done the correct way. Unfortunately, that has dragged out this process a long time. But we have a solid plan to move forward with. And in our minds, we've addressed the concerns of not just the sawmill, but the abutters, the baseball, the cricket community, and everyone else in Hopkinton.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to move on. Are there other public comment? Anybody else from the public that would like to make a comment at this point? Either raise your hand, or I'm not seeing any hands raised. If you're having trouble with raising hand, just... Oh, I see a physical hand raised. AP22. I'm not...
Sure.
If you want to state your name, address for the record, and then your comment.
Sure. I'm Amy Peterson. I'm R&R Realty Trust and JB Sawmill. I just wanted to introduce myself to the board. I know our attorney gave our presentation, but I just wanted to let you know quickly, from our point of view, is the traffic, the vehicles, the pedestrians, the closeness of this ball field to the easement is going to have a significant impact on our business. And it really scares us because of our business being at risk. The liability, the safety of children, and financial. It's just, it scares us. We have children and we have big trucks, and I just don't need something happening. And to make two separate fields with two separate parking lots would make it much better. And it would take a lot of our concerns, anxiety off of our plate. We just don't need anything happening for our own conscience and well-being. And that's why, I wanted to speak out and just let you know, from our personal perspective, we're not against the ball fields. We're not against the cricket fields. We're here for safety, and we've been arguing safety since day one. And we do have this easement. And by having pedestrians, traffic, vehicles crossing it's going to be very unsafe.
All right,
Thank you. Appreciate your time tonight.
Just for context, I know we talked about this is dawn to dusk, 7 days a week is where the park is. What days are the businesses generally operating? Is it
So
5
we're
days, 6 days?
open 6 days, Monday through Saturday. We're closed on Sundays. The business is actually open 7 to 5, but we do have trucks that come and go after those hours. And then Saturdays we're open 8 to 1.
Right, thank you.
So during a lot of the peak times, and the cricket players do play. We've had them on the fields at 6 a.m. in the morning till 6, 7 o'clock at night. The Little League field wasn't as big of a concern because they had their own parking lot. And they're more of the evening players, whereas cricket is more all day by a lot more people. So.
All right, thank you. Before we get back to the board, any other public comments at this time? I don't see any hands raised on the Zoom hand raise feature. I don't see anybody else jostling on the screen, but there's multiple pages here. Oh, I just saw a hand go up. All members on the board. Okay. In that case, I will go back to board comments. I know Parker had his hand up earlier, but he took it down. So I'm going to go to Vic first, and then I'll come back to you, Parker, if that's okay.
That's okay. Let Parker go first. Mine is a little more detailed.
Parker?
It might take longer.
I was just wondering, and maybe this is a question for the principal planner, is it possible to widen an easement? Just wondering about that.
I mean, I think that would be between the select board or the town and the grantee.
Yeah, that's correct, as Matthew mentioned. And I also need to take a look into which easement Mr. Neal was talking about. I did not get a chance to review the document since we received very late afternoon, so I prefer not to answer that, but it's totally up to select board to decide.
Parker, I think a bigger issue right now is there's concerns about the easement not being honored, or even if it's there, that it's not. It's still people are crossing over it. So I'm not sure if you have a follow up thought.
Yeah, I have a follow up thought that too. I just don't buy that line of thought. I was doing some, Googling while I was listening to some of the back and forth, and according to Clifford J. Martin versus Simmons Properties LLC, which is a case in 2014, the state has ruled in the past that there's a balanced approach to easement rights set forth, and that an easement created to serve a particular objective does not grant the easement holder the power to veto any other uses of that or interfere with that purpose. And the other side of it is, though, too, is that the grantee of the easement can't take steps to, stop the use of that authorized use. And so it's that balanced approach that I was just kind of thinking about. It's like, hey, and also if it's not exclusive, then that implicitly states that this kind of use is likely allowed. So maybe this isn't necessarily an issue with a ball field. It's like, can we make the easement bigger? And then that would grant, better access is kind of my train of thought.
So, Parker, I don't know that. I don't see this as them actually trying to veto it as much as raising concerns that fit the site plans if you read the letters. But I think there's just things that we need to take under consideration at this point, and the various risks and objections that they've raised from a site plan point of view. Vic, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, thank you to the chair. John, just for vaccination, did I hear correctly that this was approved before you were on the board? Did I get this? Did I hear it right?
That is correct. The funding was approved for the project, yes, and there was an initial GIS design of the project.
So it's been almost 3 years, if I'm not wrong. My understanding is that. So that means $1 million was approved by CPF funds for 3 years ago, but the project is still in progress, right? I'm trying to understand, because every year the money sits unused, and why is there a reason that we are pushing this right now? Because the town itself is short on funds, and town itself is short on a lot of other things where they're struggling to fund it across. What made Parks and Recreation that let's use this funds for a cricket field. While again, coming back to Mr. Bigham's concerns, right? I understand his concerns. Some of them are very valid concerns, and I know that for a reason, but I don't want to get into the details. But just trying to understand what changed that, after 3 years, just now we're pushing through this.
I can answer that question, Matt.
Vic, so the timeline that was given, was the town meeting would have been early 2023. That's only about 2.5 years. And I can hand over to John if he wants to go through the timeline, but he mentioned that the following subsequent year is really when this started picking up. John, do you want to talk about the timeline a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned, I started in September of 2023. Brand new department. I don't know how much people know of my predecessor or where the department was or the status of the department. We were hiring staff. We have other CPC projects that were also pending at the time. Have a whole program division to run and many other things for the department. So I started picking up this project again in May of 2024. And ever since then, it's been slow progress. And again, it's almost 2 steps forward, 3 steps back that it's been for multiple reasons, not just the easement. So that's sort of the timeline of where we're at.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, and Vic, to be clear, like the town approved and voted on this, so that it's not that Park and Recs is just saying we should suddenly start building something new, as much as trying to enact something that the town already voted on and allocated funds for.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
I was going to go to Lucia first, unless you have something directly on point, Parker.
Yeah, it's on point. So, Vic, the other thing to realize as well, the CPA, Community Preservation Act in Massachusetts, allows us to be able to essentially put money as a town towards getting matched funding from the state, that the purposes are for acquiring and preserving open space, creating, preserving historic resources, acquiring, supporting community housing, and last, acquiring, creating, and preserving outdoor recreation facilities. And so as part of that fund allocation, that is how this money is being allocated. It's because we as a town essentially are paying in and getting matched by the state to do projects like this. So totally understand your concern about budget, but this is kind of what the intended funds are for.
All right. Thank you, Parker. Lucia?
I had a question through the chair. I think John mentioned that 4 plans have been considered. Was there a plan with 2 fields and 2 parking lots considered?
John?
So yeah, we did discuss having where the current parking lot is, if we could fit a ball field and a parking lot. And we had Gale Associates take a look at that, and their answer was no, that it would not fit both.
Yeah, and John, I can
Yeah, go ahead, going.
Chime in real quick. If you look at the existing condition survey we have, you can see there's a pretty significant grade change there. So that's part of why we decided against that option, because you can't really fit it without adding tons of costs to the project, in that sense that you'd have to do a lot of regrading.
And one last comment on that as well. We had to work within a budget, which we are already, Parks and Recreation is going back to CPC for additional fundings to even get this project done. To separate the project into 2 would have increased the cost well above what we were already approved for.
Okay, so in response to that, I think safety is important to consider. So if it includes the cost but makes it safer, I think that's something to consider. But another question that I had was, maybe this is for Aneri. Do the peer review documents include concerns regarding the crosswalk and the commercial vehicles that will be going through that area?
I'm going to share that with our peer review consultant tomorrow, as we received this afternoon only. So but yes, I will forward them before they are done with their review.
Okay, thank you. And I think lastly, just in terms of a comment personally, I haven't been to the ball fields, but I did have one of my girls playing soccer on the other fields. And so I distinctly remember those large commercial vehicles going by. And I do remember being very grateful that the parking area was not something that the children needed to cross that driveway in order to get to the soccer fields. So I think that's a valid concern, and we should probably ensure that we're doing what we can to avoid any problems in the future.
Thank you, Lucia. Any other comments from either the board or the public right now? Yes.
Amy.
Amy.
JB
Yes.
Sawmill. Yeah, I have Joshua here also. I just want to point out that we did, back when we were discussing these 4 plans, offer our services, our excavation, our trucks to move that pile of dirt so that the parking lot and the field could be put down there. And we were told, no, they didn't want our services, that it wasn't going to fit.
Because I was told it was unfeasible the way it was. I was willing to give them all the services to make it work, and all for safety.
That's our biggest argument, is safety. We were offering to do this, and I know that there's land back there that they didn't want to develop. They wanted to save possibly for future fields or tennis courts or whatnot. But, you know, we did offer to
do it for free. Some people can't see some things. Some people see things different ways. Some of the dirt that they feel is overburdening to move is a shovel and a wheelbarrow to me. And make it happen. We tried.
Thank you.
And it would be interesting to hear peer review feedback on some of those options as well. Lori, did you get name and address?
I didn't get an address from Amy. I just got her name. You're
Sorry,
talking Amy, correct?
Amy and I believe
Joshua.
Joshua.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's 51 Fisher Street
Thank you.
in Westboro.
Westboro. And owner of the business, making it pertinent for the discussion. So
Thank you.
Was there other comments right now, or should we discuss site walk, which sounds like would be in order for this? Any objection to a site walk from members of the board?
Through the chair.
Yes, Lucia?
Do we generally wait for the peer review before we have the site walk?
So my understanding is we're expecting a peer review before the next meeting. I was going to suggest November 15th, which would be the Saturday before the next meeting. So I would hope that we'd have it by then. I'm open to waiting longer if we think we won't have peer review in time to review it before that.
As per my discussion with them, they said they will be done by next week. So I'm sure we're going to receive some updates from them. But I can follow back after I send comments from Neil and all the board members to them.
Through the chair.
Dick?
I think I would wait for the peer review before the site walk. It's to have it. I mean, just in case if they get delayed. But I leave it to the board. I mean, if everybody are okay, I'm okay with that.
I'm hearing a couple people being hesitant about scheduling before we actually have something available to read. That has a risk of further delaying the project. Obviously, if we won't have anything we won't be able to discuss the site walk at the next meeting if we haven't had it. But I'm open to discussion from the board. How's everybody else feel?
Is there a downside to setting the site walk, and if we don't get the report in enough time to reschedule it in any event?
I think the main risk would be communicating to members of the public. I wouldn't want people to show up if we're not there. We could always have a second site walk if the plan's not there in time, but I also know we've had trouble getting people to show up for site walks in the last year. I'm hearing a lot of hesitation about scheduling.
Just you, but
sorry, Mr. Bingham.
I don't think a site walk is it's not going to be immediate. Technically, it's not going to be a meeting. So you're, whether you're doing that for purposes of communicating with the public, the answer to that is really no. You're just there to get your own independent information. So, but if it's typical that you do it and make it available for the public, then I'm not trying to change that.
Yeah, it's generally available for the public to walk around with us too. obviously we don't discuss matters of opinion or subjection, but it does give an opportunity for members of the public to point out, including yourselves and abutters, to point out factually the elements that you're concerned about for us to discuss at the later meeting. Peter, sorry, did you have another?
Just briefly, I don't know nearly enough about cricket. Baseball's over. Do people still play cricket? How representative of the problems that have been identified by council would it be during a site walk in November? Are we going to see a crowd of people watching cricket in November? I'm just curious.
John?
No, I'd say generally not. And to speak to the hours, there's not games during the work week. Generally, they come on around 5 o'clock. So Monday through Friday, there's really no safety concern. I guess the Saturday would be the issue, and the sawmill is not in business on Sundays, which is, Saturday and Sunday are big days for field. So if this was a midday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, regardless of the season, there's nothing being played.
Is that, Mr. Bingham, is that the observation? Because I thought I saw something about 7 a.m. on weekdays in your letters.
That's not our observation, no.
Okay. You disagree with Parks and Rec's statement?
I do. This is not a Saturday issue. This is a weekday and Saturday issue.
Is there a concern, John, that people are using the fields outside of Parks and Rec's authority here then?
I think it sounds like there's a concern that they might be staying later at night. And I think the community gathers after games. But I did not think there was a concern during business or school hours during the week. This is, that's new.
The one thing I'll say, I asked John about potentially providing me whatever document it is that authorizes the use, which I was hoping had some of that information. And in his defense, he's not sure if I have to do that by public document request or what, but we'll figure that one out. But I think it would be good if that was submitted to the board in advance of the next meeting, so that we're not looking for it and understanding what it is that they're allowed to do, because it might be helpful in understanding that maybe they need a talking to.
It might be helpful information if you thought it would be useful, John, to provide field usage.
Sure, absolutely.
Vic.
Yeah, just want to clarify on the usage. Well, the weekdays, I don't think anybody turns up on the morning, but I know for sure that after the work hours, they do go for practice sessions or during the weekdays. If there's a big game coming in, they do late night practices also. So there are times where I know personally where they bought their own lamps and started trying to light up for the game. So
John,
that's how you have to look at it.
John, is that a authorized use of the land, or what's?
So any parks and recreation field essentially can be used. It's public, but an organized play like that would not be permitted. No. I think you said temporary lights. That again would be news to me. We're a staff of myself and 2 other full-time employees, both who are program coordinators. So, we are not at this field at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. We have families and things to do. So that would be news to me.
All right. Back to the sidewalk. I'm going to just do a poll of everybody to see. Vic, do you have anything else, or you just didn't bring your hand down?
Nothing. Sorry.
Okay. I'll do a poll of everybody, see whether we want to schedule something without having the peer review in. I would suggest November 15th, which is the Saturday before the next meeting. Whether we want to schedule something for that, or if we want to wait till we actually have the peer review in. So I guess the poll will be whether we want to wait or schedule for the 15th. Elise, do you have an opinion?
I'm fine. Sorry, guys, I lost my voice. I'm fine doing it before. I would just like to get a visual sense of the layout of what we're talking about. So the date you talked about would work fine for me.
Okay. Lucia?
I'd prefer to do it after, but
No.
I'm okay doing 2 as well.
Michael?
Yeah, I'd like to see it sooner rather than later, just to get a sense for the layout. I spent a lot of time on the soccer fields, but I don't know that I've ever actually walked around the ball fields of the easement. So I'd like to see it.
Okay. Parker?
Before.
That was before?
Yeah.
Or hopefully it's still after, but before the next meeting. Okay. Vic?
Prefer after the review, but if the board goes before, I'm fine with that too.
And for everybody that's saying before, is the 15th work for you? I think is another part. Anybody so far not have the 15th morning work?
What time?
We'll talk about that after, I guess. But theoretically, the morning of the 15th, we'll talk about time if that's what we decided. Amna and Peter, I haven't asked yet. Amna, do you have an opinion?
I'm fine with either.
Okay, and Peter.
I think that works on the 15th, and I think it makes sense.
Okay, is the 15th work for everybody on the board? I would suggest in the morning. I don't know if this is also the first week after town soccer, I think, is over. Does 9:30 work for people, or is that early?
Okay for me.
I'm good with 9.
With 9?
Not works for
9
me.
works for everyone?
Yeah, 9 is fine.
Okay.
Not works for me.
John, is 9, and maybe Colleen, I don't know who else would want to be there. Is 9 work on November 15th, Saturday?
Yes.
Yes.
I think
Sorry, who's...
I raised the hand. For me, it doesn't work. So I got a game.
Rick raised his hand.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, yeah, Vic, what was...
No, I said 9 to after 9 it doesn't work for me. I need to go for my kids' game.
Okay, so it's got to be
for me. It doesn't.
9 for you?
Anything like 8 should be good. But if the town is at 9, then I might have to miss it. That's all. Anything.
Does 8 work for everyone else, or is that too early?
That's great for me.
No for Lucia.
You're muted, Lucia.
That was a no for me.
No. Okay.
I'll bring donuts, Dan.
I could make it at 8 if I need to.
I could do later.
Prefer later, but I can do 8.
Later than 9.
How late? Are we talking afternoon?
Maybe after 1 p.m. I'm okay.
I can't do 1. What time is sunset around now? It's like 5, right?
It's sunset around 4:30, I think.
Yeah. Does 4 p.m. work? It would be short and twilight, but
it works for me. 4 p.m.
4 p.m. works for everyone here?
That's fine.
And nobody on the board has an objection to 4. John, does that work for you?
I'll make it work. Yep.
Okay. Mr. Bingham, does that work for you or anybody on your side that might want to be there?
Yeah, that is fine with us. I just know we lose more than a couple of minutes every day, so I don't know what it looks like at 4 on that date. I'm trying to look it up as we speak.
Just a point of order in a sense that the butter operates between 8 and 1 on Saturday. Is that right?
I don't think it's a point of order, but I point of clarification. Yeah, I think that was what was said earlier.
Yes.
So we will be looking at this after they're shut down for the day.
Yes.
How effective?
Did you want to try and schedule it during when they were working?
I mean, it would seem to me that what's been proposed or what's been suggested to us is that there's a safety issue. There's while they're operating. It would seem to me what makes sense to do it while they're operating, but that's just me.
That's me too.
Okay, so that would be before 1, but we had trouble at 9. Sorry. Yeah, so we had trouble before that.
Did we do 8:30
okay.
maybe?
I can do 8.
Does 8:30 work for you?
I can do 8:30.
We'll make ourselves available.
Because I think Vic said he couldn't do
after
9, but I don't know if 8:30 would be.
It's tight, but I'll try to make it.
Okay. Sounds great. 8:30 will be during working hours. Sounds like it's the best mutual time. Again, John, question for you. 8:30 work for you, I presume, given 8 and 9 were fine? All right. And Mr. Bingham, it sounds like that's a better time for you guys.
Yeah, and I'll just share with you one piece of recently learned information on my phone. That Saturdays are a slower day. So if you're really looking to see what it looks like, but I think you'll see a truck or two just so you get a sense of what we're talking about, even if we have to drive one down.
Good enough.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for putting up with finding the right time. At that point, presumably, we're going to continue this to the 17th. I don't believe we need to extend the deadline. Is that all right, Aneri?
Let me just.
And I assume no objection from the applicant
No.
on 11/17th continuance.
That's a Monday.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from today. It's the next meeting. We can do later to a subsequent meeting if you want.
I'm just looking. And it's at 7 p.m. again?
Yes.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. So hearing that, I'd entertain a motion to continue the public hearing for 66 Fruit Street, Pinefield Athletic Facility, major project site plans, stormwater management permits, Hopkinton Parks and Rec until the November 17th meeting.
Moved.
Before we get a second, John, did you have a comment?
Just a quick question. Are we able to submit new materials?
Yes. Send that to Aneri.
Yep. You can submit that.
Thank you.
Yep. Obviously, the earlier you get new material to us, the more likely we are all to have read it.
Understood.
Cool. So we have a motion, but no second yet to continue the meeting.
Second.
Second from Vic. Thank you. Roll call vote. Elise?
Yes.
I think that was a yes as she's trying to get her voice back. Lucia?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Vic?
Yes.
Amna?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. We'll see you guys on the 15th at 8:30. Hopefully we'll have parking spaces to go there. And we'll see how the field looks in November. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I believe the last thing on our agenda is to adjourn, unless anybody has anything else to
I had a
raise.
question.
Yes, Lucia?
For the Form K, we need to come in to sign that.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that going to be ready immediately, like tomorrow, or do we need to wait
Yes.
on that?
No, it's going to be ready by tomorrow.
Okay. And I just wanted to say it's very helpful to know when the signatures are done. So I appreciate that email as well.
Yes. So I will send reminder email tomorrow morning again.
There's a little confusion of which paper to sign last time I went in. I don't know.
So yeah, that was just a slight mistake because not a mistake, but Peter memo was not there in the previous hearing, so I was not sure that town adopted the bylaw when board member is not there, they can still sign the Form K or not. So I needed to make sure. So he showed up. So I was like, rather than letting him come back again, we can do signature on 2 papers, so it's easy to say and save the time.
Got it. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, or anything else? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Through the chair, sorry.
Vic,
For the
yeah.
sidewalk, right, the parking details and everything would be sent by email or?
Yes, I will
Aneri, do
figure
you
it
want
out.
Okay.
Yeah, I will figure it out and send the location and the details again.
Thank you, Aneri.
And there's a parking lot on site. Sounds like hopefully there'll be enough space for us. So,
Well, Parker will be bringing donuts.
I will. When we do mornings, I will.
you know, Rocco's is the closest donut place, Parker. So I'm
Not the closest to my house, Mr. Chair. We're having a donut stand.
Oh, that also works for me.
That makes sense.
Still don't have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Nobody made them first.
So
The first
moved.
motion. There we go.
Okay,
Now we have a
second.
motion.
Second.
Vic has a second. Roll call vote. Elise,
Yes.
Lucia,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Vic,
Yes.
Amna,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I'm also a yes. Thank you, everyone. See you all on November 15th at 8:30.
Nice job, Matt.
Thank you. Good night.
Cheers, everyone.